Hello, guys. So I want to talk to you about what I think about, movie culture in America and the state of movie reviewing on YouTube. So there is a user that I will not name, but he's one of these many, movie reviewers on YouTube, and they're the kind of people that tend to be very, they're very elitist, right? Generally speaking, these movie essays are largely just kind of an outlet to say some things against Republicans or anybody who goes against their politics. So as I said before, I don't really care, about whether you support Trump or not, just as long as you're mature about it and don't basically be myopic about it. Biden is a horrible president. That's no other way you can slice it. Um, he got thrown under the bus by his own party, and American movie culture basically ignored him. JFK was seen as a great symbol of youth, regardless of whatever you want to say about, his dalliances with interns and young women. He was still considered to be a regeneration of America's culture. And the movies very much at the time represented that. So, but at the same time, I think in a way, what this user was talking about and saying, like, all these things about, oh, masculinity and war, who cares? War is war. It will continue no matter what you say. The thing we need to do as human beings is to ameliorate its effects, but it will always happen in masculinity and femininity in both its positive and negative forms will continue to dominate humanity. That's just the nature of it. And trying to, in my way, in the way of these reviewers, to create some grandiose message about war. Yes, these movies, like in the 50s in particular, would be cynical about war. That is true. But at the end of the day, people are still going to play Call of Duty. They're still going to play Battlefield. They're still going to play Halo. They're still going to play, um, Quake, Doom. They're still going to play these games, and especially Doom, Quake, all these other games. They're going to play them, and especially all these World War II games and whatnot. Who cares? When I hear people criticize and use our contemporary politics to talk about, oh, Trump was a swindler or whatever. Well, so was Biden. He was basically being propped up by his own, his own team as he was deteriorating. And he got thrown away as soon as it seemed like he was no longer convenient and put in Kamala, who was a horrible candidate. But at the end of the day, I think that our culture is changing. I hope that we have a return to an equilibrium. I don't think we will ever really return to the new Hollywood days, to be honest. I think with the rise of AI, we're going to be in an age, an epoch of sentimentalism and basically spectacle. It doesn't mean there won't be small stories, but I think a lot of the navel gazing, elitism, I think of kind of the people in Hollywood that began in the 1950s and all this kind of deconstruction of our identities. Well, sometimes it's okay to deconstruct and to think about what it means to be human. I think they were taking it too far. So I think we're going to have a renaissance in American film. It's not because of my guy winning the election, but I think there's a change. I think that as I said before, it's our culture is becoming sick and tired of the orthodoxy that many of these movie reviewers seem to be espousing. And they're not particularly very, you know, con- competent at it. They will say some things about, oh, he did this or did that, but then completely ignore anything that their side does. At the end of the day, the people have spoken. And, you know, I think that many of these people, as I said before, they become essentially they talk about, you know, toxic masculinity. Well, they get stuck in their own toxicity. They get stuck in there. And they themselves become ossified in it as much as they may criticize ossified aristocracies sending men to die in wars. They become them themselves. They become the essentially the aristocrats of social discussion of who is right and who is wrong. And ultimately, people don't care about that anymore. We see it for the technocratic system for how incompetent it really is. in the 40s and 50s. It was seen as a very competent system, but now it's running out of steam. And hopefully, we have a return to a more I think I don't have a problem with realistic movies or naturalistic movies, but I think it's time for a return to more sentiments. To stop obsessing about details of every emotion. I think people have to understand. I think all people who make movies have to understand AI is coming and it's going to change the movie industry. And if you look at the AI videos on YouTube, look at the great imagination that the computers are taking from our works and truly stripping it of all this ideology. So now I think we will truly be in a new golden age where movies will be better, bigger than ever before. And I don't care what some people on YouTube say about, you know, this knife representing repressed masculinity. Who cares? Let's go back to representing what humanity is truly about, not obsessing about deconstructing our identities. Let's dream again. That is what matters. Thank you for listening to this video. And please enjoy your Christmas.